Hello guys, in today's video we are going to talk about dynamic programming and use it to compute Fibonacci series faster. But before getting into the action, let's match our expectations. I'm studying this topic by myself and my videos depend on the wisdom of the crowd, a topic that really fascinates me. Therefore, if you find any mistake in what I say, please let me know in the comment section below. I promise to read all comments and re-upload if necessary. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I tend to upload many videos on this topic. Alrighty, dynamic programming is an algorithm method that utilizes memory to obtain an efficient runtime for a recursive procedure. In other words, say that your algorithm needs to perform a similar calculation on each recursive call, it would be a good idea to save the result of the first call and reuse it rather than computing it again. The dynamic programming method typically applies to algorithmic solutions that fit the divide and conquer paradigm, where a solution for an instance I of the problem is obtained by recursively solving sub-instances of I. If the same sub-instance appears several times in the recursive tree, then we can save time by solving the sub-instance once and storing the answer in memory. The prime challenge in designing a good dynamic programming algorithm comes down to expressing the recursive function used for finding the solution, that is, because the recursive function affects both the memory usage and the runtime of the algorithm. A healthy approach to understanding a problem we have in hand is solving the problem naively and see how slow the runtime is. A naive solution typically involves going through all possible options and picking the best one among them. Alrighty, let's see how to compute the Fibonacci series using dynamic programming. Alrighty, Fibonacci series algorithm. The first two elements in the Fibonacci series equal to 1. The second element and onwards in the series is calculated by adding the previous two elements. Here are the first few elements of the series. 1, 1. For the third element, we are adding the first element and the second element, therefore 1 plus 1 equals 2. For the third element, we are adding the third and the second element, which means 2 plus 1, which equals 3. For the fifth element, we are adding the third element and the fourth element. 2 plus 3 equals 5. For the sixth element, we are adding the fifth element and the fourth element, which means 5 plus 3, which equals 8. For the seventh element, we are adding the fifth element and the sixth element, which equals 5 plus 8. For the eighth element, we are adding the seventh element and the sixth element, which equals to 13 plus 8, which equals to 21. Notice that if we do not save the previous two variables, we would have to make many calculations to find high variables in the series. The runtime required to find the nth variable in our series would take an exponential time. Therefore, storing each new discovered variable in a dedicated cell in an array can help us reduce the running time dramatically. Such an algorithm would require a runtime of ON, time and space usage of ON as well. This approach is a top-down approach. The perspective used to describe the algorithm considers the recursive calls that are encountered in the order obtained from computing Fi directly. Often in dynamic programming, it is helpful to use a bottom-up approach. The algorithm solves the smaller sub-instances first and slowly builds up towards the solution of the original instance. In our example, the bottom-up approach implies an algorithm that computes the Fibonacci numbers one by one, f2, f3, f4, all the way to fn-2, fn-1, and fn, which takes on time, but only stores the last two variables, hence the space usage here is only O1. Proving the correctness of dynamic programming algorithms is usually a tedious task and needs to be done carefully. The proof relies on proving the correctness of the recursive function by induction. For Fibonacci numbers, the recursive formula is correct by definition. Well, that's about it. I hope you learned something new from this video, and please comment below with your thoughts. First degree studies in university are all about social studies, and this project comes to encourage that, even through complicated situations most of us are going through right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, good luck.